people, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. This is a little bit odd. I'm not used to filming sit-down videos. As you guys know, I've been doing a lot of vlogging lately, like probably an unhealthy amount, but I just love vlogging. Side note, look at this freaking cup my mom gave me. It's got a unicorn and a rainbow and it says, "Back the fuck up, sprinkle tits. Today is not the day I will shank you with my horn." I wanted to film a sit-down video in addition to my Let's Talk series that I started on my YouTube channel a couple of years ago, back when I was filming in 2021. And for episode number 1, I did Let's Talk Mental Health, which I still feel very passionately about mental health, and that's obviously still something that is a big part of my life and that I still have to live with day to day. But there's something else that is a huge part of my life and something that I have to live with day to day, and that is that I'm gay
as fuck.
So for today's Let's Talk episode, we're going to be talking sexuality, and I'm going to be telling you guys my coming out story. Let's just jump right into it. I did write down some notes about things I want to talk about, just pretty much so I could get my brain straight, because whenever I try to film these sit-down videos, I can never stay like focused on one thing, or like my brain just like trails to something else while I'm saying something. I don't know if any of that made sense, but just trying to keep myself organized. I really just want to start this conversation off by saying happy Pride Month, even though it's nearing the end of Pride Month now. The date is June 21st while I'm filming this, so we're nearing the end, but happy Pride Month. I hope you guys are having and had a great month. I wanted to go to the Toronto Pride Parade, which is this coming weekend, but I don't have anybody to go with because I'm single, so I don't have a girlfriend to take, and none of my friends are gay or live in the Toronto area like I do, so not going, but there's always hope for next year. But if you guys have gone to a Pride Parade or are planning on going to a Pride Parade, I hope you have so much fun. Be safe, but the most important thing is have fun. I'm just gonna jump right into telling my coming out story because honestly, it's a journey, okay? I guess my coming out story starts when I was about 13 or 14, and I just knew that I like girls. And I know that sounds so like, oh, everybody says, oh, I just knew, but like I genuinely did. And like I don't even know how to, it was almost as if like I would think, oh my god, like that girl's so pretty, and if I was a boy I would date her. That is so fruity. So I had known from, I would say, a pretty young age. I mean 13, 14, I'm 21 now, so I've known for a really long time, but I never wanted to tell anybody. It's not that I grew up in like a religious strict household, it's just that I didn't know any gay people in my personal life. Like I just didn't really have people to look up to who were in the LGBTQ plus community. I knew, but I kept it to myself until one day I decided I really wanted to tell my best friend at the time that I liked girls, and she is the first person that I told. So I did tell her, I was like, hey, like I'm bi, I like girls too. And she didn't really she didn't have a negative reaction. I mean, she was supportive and whatnot, but that was pretty much the end of that. I just told her and just went on my life. Then I started high school, and I started high school when I was 15, so this is probably a year or two after I had already told my best friend. Notable, when I started high school, me and this girl were not best friends anymore. High school was a very interesting experience for me. The high school that I went to, there was about 900 students, so it wasn't a small high school by any means, but it was a very preppy high school. I don't know how else to explain it. It was very preppy. The people that I went to high school with were just very, I want to say judgmental, but judgmental might be a little bit too harsh of a word. I can't find the correct words for it, but basically I knew that I wasn't comfortable with coming out being in that high school environment, so I didn't. I didn't have any openly gay people in my circle, or pretty much in my high school in general. I mean, like, obviously in a school of 900 kids you're gonna have a few gay people here and there, but there wasn't any openly out gay people, especially not in my circle. And being in that environment in high school, I genuinely just didn't feel comfortable with coming out. So I didn't come out, and I started dating my first ever boyfriend, and I actually ended up dating him for 2 years. So it's a long time. And that guy happened to be cousins with the previously mentioned best friend who I had come out to when I was 13 years old. I think you can see where this is going. She told my boyfriend at the time, slash her cousin, that I was gay. Not only that I was gay, but that I was cheating on him with a girl, which is just crazy because I literally hadn't even touched a girl, kissed a girl, none of that at that point. So anyways, she tells him that I'm cheating on him with a girl. And my initial reaction is, oh my god, ew, gross, like, no, I'm not gay. Like, me, gay, absolutely not. You know, like, the internalized homophobia came out a little bit, and I was just like, shut it down, that's so not true, I'm not gay. And then it kind of passed. He never brought it up again, I never mentioned it again, and we did end up breaking up, and then the rest of my high school career, I just dated men. That experience really shot me into denial. Not even denial, just like vocalizing to them, oh my god, no, I'm not gay, but it was a denial within myself. And when I tell you that the internalized homophobia was so real and so strong, like, I'm not lying. My relationships with men throughout high school were definitely not healthy and very much on the toxic side of things. And as shitty as this is going to be to say, like, obviously I had love for my ex-boyfriends at the time when I was dating them, but I was never in love with any of them. And that's just fact. I scratched my face and now it's red, so just ignore that. So I made it all the way through high school, not telling anybody that I knew that I liked girls. I was dating men still, and looking back on it now, do I wish I would have done it differently? Absolutely, because I really got myself into some not good situations in my relationships with men. But post high school is when my whole world like completely shifted. So I graduated high school in 2020 and I was starting college in the fall. And when I graduated high school, I was dating one guy, and so that relationship lasted a little bit into college. But when I was in that relationship, I downloaded TikTok. I love TikTok. I mean, still, TikTok is it is my most used social media platform. This was 2020, beginning of 2021 era on TikTok, and I was seeing a lot of openly gay people on TikTok. And people talking about, you know, like, being gay, a lot of people coming out. It was like, I found my people, because I had never really known another gay person, or at least another openly gay person at that time in my life. So to just see all of these beautiful, like, powerful, openly gay people just being themselves on TikTok was just so inspiring to me. I did start posting on TikTok regularly in like the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. My first TikTok blew up in 2021, but it wasn't a TikTok about my sexuality. I don't remember if I was out on TikTok at that point in time yet or not. I am not gonna lie, I did stumble across Anna Shumate on TikTok. If you guys have followed me on TikTok for a while, you would know that back in the day when I was like newly came out, newly seeing girls, I was like obsessed with Anna Shumate. And like, I still am, but like, yeah, I still am, just not to the degree I used to be. I saw Anna Shumate and I was like, holy shit, that is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I want to date her. I want to. And she had posted her coming out video, the lip sync to Sweater Weather. And so I was like, oh my god, this person who I have been like looking up to and like been so inspired by is like brave enough to come out on a platform where she has a hell of a lot more followers and people watching her than I do. Then why can't I? And it's funny because I remember so vividly, like, during that era, and I would like go to my sister and I'd be like, oh my god, Madison, like Anna Shumate on TikTok, she's so pretty, like look at her TikToks, blah 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 blah. And Madison, my little sister, would be like, Megan, you're like fruity And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you are literally in love with this woman. Like, you are fruity. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not gay. Psh, psh. Seems to be the theme of my life here. Madison called it before I was willing to admit it. So yes, I was obsessed with Anashime, and actually I was in a relationship with the last guy that I ever dated. And a little backstory on him, I had known him and we had been friends for probably 5 years before we started dating. I love him still to this day, love that kid with my whole heart. But I knew that, and after putting on a front of the straight girl, you know, in these serious relationships with all these guys, I was just, at that point in my life, I'm pretty sure I was 18 when I came out, or 19. I think I was 19 actually when I came out. So I knew, like I just knew, and it felt wrong, and I was unhappy, and I would spend the day with him and then I'd go home and I'd cry, and I'm like, hey, this is not fair to me or to him at all. So I talked to him and I said, look, like, I love you. He is the most amazing guy that I know. And I was straight up with him and told him that I liked girls and I wanted to be with a girl. Obviously, like, me breaking up with him hurt him a lot, but like, he is still to this day like my biggest cheerleader. Like, he is so happy for me, and like, he knows that I'm happier since I started dating girls, and like, his support and love just like literally means the world to me. So I came out to him, we broke up, and I did start dating my first girlfriend, but you know, did it the gay way. Long distance, and not just long distance. I'm talking, I lived in Ontario, she lived in California. And I was like, okay, now I need to come out to my parents and my siblings. My older sister had already came out to my parents as bisexual, and I knew that they didn't have a negative reaction to her, and they supported her and still loved her. So a part of me was like, okay, what's gonna be the difference? Like, I know that they're supportive, but I was still shitting bricks to tell my parents. I didn't live with my parents, and my parents had separated and divorced at this point in my life. So they didn't live together and I didn't live with either of them. I was completely alone. So I was like, okay, this would be so much easier to just do over text. So I texted my mom first, and I don't even really remember like specifically what I said, but I know it was like beating around the bush. Like, not, I didn't like straight up be like, Mom, I'm gay, but like I said something that like hinted at the fact that I was gay. And I remember her saying back to me, like, if this is you coming out to me, then like I fully support you. And she sent like a bunch of rainbow hearts and stuff like that. And so my mom still is so supportive of me, and I'm so grateful for my mom. Like, I want to cry just talking about her because she is seriously so incredible, and I'm so thankful to, I'm actually about to cry. I'm so thankful to have such a strong support system and such a supportive family, because I know that not every queer person gets that luxury, and not every queer person has a support system in their lives, or supportive family, or supportive friends, or whatever it may be. So I really am grateful. But anyways, I need to not cry. I came out to my mom over text and she was supportive. The next person I came out to was my little sister, and she said, Megan, I know. Like, I told you that you, like, I knew, like, whatever. So that wasn't a shocker. And then obviously my older sister knew, and she's also bi, so she was just like, hey, welcome to the club. The one person that I refused to tell was my dad. And my dad has always been, like, I'm a mini version of him. Like, he's always been my best friend, and we've always gotten along. Like, I have a good relationship with my dad, but I was scared to tell him because of his parents, my Baba and Gigi. They're very, I don't know if conservative would be the right word, but they're very, like, homophobic, and just like I still haven't came out to them. They've met my girlfriends, my past girlfriends, but it was always introduced as, oh, this is my friend, whatever. Like, they still don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they know, but they, like, we don't talk about it, you know? It's like one of those things where it's like, you don't talk about it, then it's not true. But just because of that, I was terrified to come out to my dad. And technically, I didn't even come out to my dad. My sister outed me to my dad. I was on the phone with my previously mentioned long-distance girlfriend, and my dad had asked my little sister, who's Megan on the phone with, and she said, oh, her girlfriend. And so then that obviously sparked the conversation. And so I came out to my dad and we did cry. Okay, there were tears involved in that conversation, but it was like good tears. And I think he was just upset because he's like, why did you feel like you couldn't tell me? And so like I explained the whole like, oh, Baba and Gigi are this way. And he's like, well, just because my parents are that way doesn't mean I'm that way. And so yeah, my dad is so supportive too. Like I said before, like I genuinely am so fortunate to have such supportive family. Just one by one, I came out to my friends, and again, same thing, they're all supportive. Like, it just breaks my heart because I was so afraid to be myself and be honest with myself and love who I love, because I was so afraid of the judgment of others, which is so sad, but it is such a big part of being in the LGBTQ plus community. Coming out is one of the most terrifying things I think someone could ever do, but it's also the bravest. After I came out to everybody in my life, I came out on TikTok. I posted my coming out video, and it was such a funny video, and it's still one of my favorite videos that I've ever posted. I love that video. If I can find it, I will insert it here.
I was a sprinkles guy when I was younger with ice cream, so I appreciate this.
You look like a sprinkles guy.
What the f*** is that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying you look like a sprinkles guy.
I posted that coming out video, and then I started getting followers, and then I posted a video about me being bi. Oh, I should mention, when I first came out, I came out as bisexual. And so I posted a video about, like, I don't even remember what it was, like, things I realized since I came out as bi, and it blew the fuck up too. And then I started getting more queer followers, and now here we are, like, a year and a half, 2 years later, and I am, like, gay as fuck. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys, my sexuality as of right now is still very fuzzy to me. No matter what you identify as, no matter who you love, your feelings are so valid. And if you aren't fortunate enough to have a super strong support system in your personal life, you have me. My Instagram DMs are literally always open. I love getting messages from you guys. Like, I love it, and I'm always here to talk. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. I would love to listen. I'd love to talk to you. And you are so freaking loved. That is it for this episode of Let's Talk. Thank you so much for listening and for being here with me. And I love you guys, like, so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of Pride Month, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.